Yeah, so I'm doing around 3.5 million ARR now with all these agents, and I launched the first one a bit more than a year ago.
So this is SEO Bot the biggest revenue earner?
Yeah, this one is doing almost 120k MRR now, and been doubling month over month after the launch.
And how many folks are on the team working on SEO Bot?
It's just me and one more person.
Can I put you on the spot? Are you open to screen sharing your Stripe account and showing us the tiny ads growth just from 0 to 5K?
Yeah, of course.
Hey folks, my guest today is John Rush, and he is building all kinds of tools in the SEO space. He's updated on all the latest AI tactics, whether it's agentic workflows or anything like that related to growth. Really prolific on X as well. And one of his posts caught my eye where he basically showed a screenshot of one of his agents getting a job on a job board. His specifically listing bot paid $499 to do a SEO job that someone named Caleb Peffer put together for their startup Firecrawl Dev. So I want to talk to John about how he's building these agents, how much revenue he's doing, how he's growing, and just how he's thinking about building 20 plus startups all at one time. John, you ready to take us to the top?
Yeah, so I'm all in building AI agents, and I think I bet everything on the future of AI agents, and I think the future is founders plus AI agents, and that will be the new normal. That will be the new corporations run by very few people. In some cases, like in my case, almost no people, and the AI.
That's wild. So your bio here, I run the most automated org on earth using AI agents that you build, like Unicorn Platform, Index Rusher, Listing Bot, SEO Bot, Tiny Ads, etc. We're going to jump into all of these today. But John, I don't want to bury the lead. Can you share anything from a growth perspective? Are you comfortable sharing sort of how much revenue all these things do together?
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm doing around 3.5 million ARR now with all these agents, and I launched the first one a bit more than a year ago. So before that, I was in the trenches just experimenting and building stuff. So it's several of them making the most of the revenue, like SEO Bot, Listing Bot, Unicorn Platform, and a few others are accounting for most of the revenue. And the other products are either free or they're just starting out.
So this is SEO Bot the biggest revenue earner?
Yeah, this one is doing almost 120k MRR now, and been doubling month over month after the launch. So it's doing really, really well, and I think it has done really good job at making the whole AI agent on autopilot popular on Twitter, at least.
No, this is fascinating. So 120k a month right now in revenue. You're charging $19 a month. When did you launch the platform?
It was a bit more than a year ago. So I launched in the internal beta for like 6 months with people I know, and they've been using it for 6 months. And after that, I launched for the public around 12 months ago, or maybe 14 months ago.
Okay, so maybe like April, February of 2024.
Yeah, that's when it was kind of public. Until that, I had the 6 months of closed beta where I would invite people to try it.
And how many folks are on the team working on SEO Bot?
It's just me and one more person. So all my teams are the same. It's me who comes up with the idea and who builds usually the first MVP and tests out and does the pre-sale and ideates and builds up the UX and everything. And then I find a co-maker, usually on Twitter or in my network, who joins in to build the thing, and we build it together. So the other person is building and I'm promoting, and then I help him to build, he helps me to promote. So it's kind of a team of two people.
So that's you and Vitalik on SEO Bot, right?
Yeah, just two people.
Can I ask? Can I ask, what do you do? Do you just split equity 50-50, or how do you have that conversation?
Yeah, 50-50. Yeah, exactly. So it's 50-50 split, just like the co-founders in the startup. And he is the CTO and I'm CEO, but we do a lot of things together too.
This is wild. Okay, so I love how you're building. You're obviously building in public. These kind of screenshots obviously do very well on Twitter. Actually, you see them all here, which is great. You're using testimonial.io for this wall of love?
No, I think this one is from Senja, just a competitor.
Spell that?
Senja, yeah, exactly.
Okay, Essential.io. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so you've got this great wall of love going here. Okay, so help us understand your price point's $19 a month. And so I guess, so what is that? 120,000 divided by 19. Does that mean what, you have about 6,000 paying customers?
A bit less than that because we have 49, we have 199, we have 499. So we have a lot more inside there. And right now I'm seeing a lot of people moving for higher tiers and higher plans. And we haven't even started working with bigger customers, but the end goal here is to go, of course, for the bigger customers. So I usually start with smaller check, just that my first customers are the builders, because I like to build product for builders first because they give me good feedback and they actually become part of my product team. And once I get to a place where they love it, then I increase the price, and then it goes more for teams and we see funded companies and corporations.
Okay, so sorry, how many customers do you have today about?
I think it's like 5K or 4K, between 4 and 5K.
That's great. How are you driving? Like, this obviously does all the selling for you, right? Getting your users to tag you and post a screenshot of their growth. Yeah. Is this all happening organically, or are you sort of softly prompting folks, hey, you should put a screenshot up, tag us, you're crushing it?
Yeah. So surprisingly, I've never asked anyone to do that. And I think if I did that, I would maybe 10x my revenue over a few months. So people do it on their own, and it's just... I spend time to listen to the users and have chats going on with a lot of the users. I don't think anyone on earth has more chats than me. I think I have almost like 1,000 chats going on with users. And they love it because I listen directly and I come back with fixes and with improvements. And usually that kind of makes them loyal, and then they become like ambassadors of the product.
That makes tons of sense. So it's just two of you guys building this. So like, that's really high revenue per employee, right? $60,000 per month in revenue per employee, or $720,000 a year in revenue per employee. Walk us through. So, and you mentioned, what's growth strategy here? I mean, is it really just almost purely social? I mean, I'm going to go into your back end here. Are you running your own SEO play for SEO Bot?
Yeah. So basically I have, very simple strategy. So number one, I show everybody how the tool is helping myself, right? So in case of SEO Bot, I use it for all my other products, and then I share the results, and that helps a lot. Both the products I share the results for and those I used. Then I do a lot of SEO using SEO Bot, Listing Bot, Index Rusher. So that brings around 30% of my traffic. And then the other 30% comes as cross promo. So all the tools are targeting the same audience, right? And if somebody joins one of my products as a customer, then they end up using all of my other products eventually. So that's like a big chunk of the growth. So 30% SEO, 30% cross promo, and 30% is social media, where I build in public and other people share that they use my product too. So it just comes from social media. And 10% is all the other things. All the small
Here's an
things.
example of you using your own dog food, right? You launched your own SEO tool, llmmodels.org. You grow it from 0 to this many clicks per month, and you're saying, hey, I used SEO. I use my own tools to do this.
Yeah, exactly. And I do a lot of products. So since I keep doing 0 to 1 over and over again, then I can reiterate on that again. So I'm not sharing the same product, the same thing over and over again. So I start a new product from 0, and in a month I get somewhere, and I use my own tools. And then when it works, I share, and it brings users.
This is great. Okay, so that's the story of SEO Bot. You said the next biggest tool that you run in terms of revenue is Listing Bot.
Yeah, Listing Bot is a very simple tool. So it does only two things. So one part of the tool is deep research it does on the internet to find all the web directories for a particular product. And it's really hard work because you want to find everything on the internet, and then you want to rank it by the relevance and domain rating, etc. And the other thing it does, it actually lists you there. So it's a web automation that registers on the directory and adds your product there and does all the form filling, etc.
John, this is crazy. Are there really over 10,000 directories that people can apply to?
Oh, there are more actually. this is hardcoded number, so there are a lot more now.
Wow.
I think this is from a year ago, so now a lot more. I would say that every month we add at least 500 new directories into the database. And when I say directories, people think this typical AI directories, but in fact, there are a lot of directories in the world for niche products too, for e-commerce stores, for mobile apps, for pet shops. Like there are a lot of directories. I think there are 100,000 directories in the world, and probably we have around 20K of them now. And my goal to find them all, and also there are new directories popping up every day, so we can find them too.
And are you comfortable sharing revenue here?
Yeah, so this one is doing over 50K a month, and it's a one-time payment, so it's basically 1,000 people buying it every month.
Wow. Okay, so 1,000 people. Got it. So there's no recurring thing. You have to get new traffic, new buyers every month.
Exactly. And this is very interesting. Like when I started that, everybody said that you must have recurring plans, and it just worked. And it's actually was an experiment where I have one-time payment and also I have strap-link. So you have to pay first to see the next step. It's really high bar, right? Like I think very tiny number of people actually go through this, and even that brings quite a lot of users. And I'm launching the version 2 very soon, where it'll be a lower bar, where you can actually pay $50 a month and get 20 directories listed every month. And then I enter this wider game. But my goal was to start just like Tesla started with Roadster, like expensive car, really good service. In my case, like right now it's expensive, but it's really good because I have the AI stuff working on, but also I have actual people who review everything, and then it's just really good job at the end. And the next step is to reduce the human labor there and have it fully autonomous, and drop the price and let people to moderate the whole thing themselves, but pay less.
Yep. Yeah. And now are you building this one yourself, or do you have a co-founder here as well?
Yeah, this one is just me, but I have so I built it myself, but I have a co-founder who is doing all the moderation work. So a guy who just, watches the AI do the thing and then corrects all the mistakes and make sure there are no hallucinations and things like that.
That's cool. And so do you do 50-50 split there as well, or is he more like a paid contractor?
It's not 50-50. So it's also split, but not 50-50. It's like 90-10.
I see.
Yeah.
You're 90, he's 10. Yeah. Are
Exactly.
you a Warren Buffett, Mark Leonard kind of guy? You build and hold forever, or is the goal here to build these, sell them, then do it again, build it and sell, and build and sell?
No, I hold it forever. So I only buy, I don't sell. And because I don't see any reason to sell. In my case, every product is not just a product itself, but also it's a part of my ecosystem where it drives people into my other tools. So even if the product is not doing that well, it's not a problem for me. Like I have some products, for example, I have like few products that are doing, people are not moving from free to pay tier, basically. I'm not making money there, but people still discover my other tools from those products, and I'm happy because it's still a good so they act as marketing channels for me. Like I have directories. I have like 25 or 35 directories right now, like a lot of them, and most of them make no revenue. Some of them do pretty good, but most of them don't. But they drive traffic to all my other tools, so I'm happy to keep them. And I don't sell because I actually want to end up having this full ecosystem where I have every single tool that a typical busy founder or like a bootstrap founder would ever need, starting from tools for building products, tools for operating, tools for growing, and tools for monetizing. So like the whole stack, that's my end game here.
Really interesting. I'm just trying to get a sense of your background here so I can understand like your DNA, your genes, right? So you were in UI, UX, QA here.
Yeah. I studied computer science and AI and then UX. So my first 10 years were in VC-backed companies. So I started 7 VC-backed companies as a CTO with other co-founders in Norway. Okay. Then I went to US, to San Francisco, to 500 startups, to Alchemist. So I've been in this typical VC-backed game for 10 years. And at the end, basically, I felt like my whole game is to serve investors and to chase the exits where what I really wanted is to serve my users and chase like a legacy. So chase generational company where it will kind of be there even after me. And that's why I made a pivot from VC-backed world into the bootstrap world, where I'm my own boss and I don't have to optimize for exit or for the next round. I just own the whole thing. I have good profits. I use profits to fund myself. So now that's my life. So basically, some products are making pretty good money. I use that to build the next products and just spinning around the same blueprint.
Is Tiny Ads your company as well?
Yeah, this is my latest product. Really cool one. So far, I've been only doing organic growth or non-paid growth. And every time I tried paid growth using Google or Facebook, it never worked. So I built my own ad network for B2B, for small B2B startups, just so that I could actually spend money on growth. And it works really well. So now, after 35 days, we reach 5K MRR and 10K in revenue, and almost 1,000 publishers have joined the platform to serve the ads. So
that's
it's
great.
going really well.
John, are you? Can I put you on? Are you open to screen sharing your Stripe account and showing us the Tiny Ads growth just from 0 to 5K?
Yeah, of course. Just give me a second.
Let's go. This is going to be great. People love seeing the proof behind the story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So guys, this is I think, just to give some context while John's bringing that up, I think this is the future. I mean, he's got a holding company. I believe you call it Mars, right? MarsX.dev, John.
Yeah.
Yep, is his holding company. He's building all these tools for himself, right? He's generating profit. You use MarsX.dev and all these, this basically MicroApps concept. These are all the tools that you built are part of this, right?
Yeah, I will show you how I build it using MarsX.
Okay.
So I will take over the screen now.
Let me turn the screen over to you. Yeah, let me stop sharing.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All
right.
I have to make sure I don't share any emails of the people.
Yeah,
so.
don't click customers. Yes, but there's your MRR graph there. You can see. So hover over that zero.
Yeah,
Where was it zero?
You can see it this way. Yeah. So it started like, where is it? I launched that on April 15th. So exactly a month ago, and then it went like up. Yeah,
that's awesome.
It was like crazy because everybody said like, you are crazy launching an ad network. That's like a game for big guys. But I had people telling me that everything I do not gonna work ever because like, in 2022 I was building AI coding tool. Like MarsX is an AI coding tool, and people said like developers will never switch because there's VS Code and everybody's going to use VS Code for the next decades. And now we're in a world where everybody's using something else for that, right? So I will show you.
Yeah, I mean, look, all these yeah. By the way, if you have Listing Bot, like we'd love to, and Stripe, SEO Bot and Listing Bot, we'd love to just see the growth on those too. If you're comfortable sharing those in Stripe. But I mean, guys, to John's point just now, I actually think the ad space is very interesting because Google has an innovator's dilemma, right? They're going to have to cannibalize their ad revenue to go make sure that, the LLM search and the chat function stays with Google versus ChatGPT winning that space. And if that's the case, tools like what John's building, like new creative ways to do ads, there's going to be a big market for that if Google takes a step back there. So eager to see how Tiny Ads grows over time, John.
Yeah. I mean, I think like one thing people don't realize that the whole game the Google is playing is basically running on a lot of VC money because people are fine in the VC world to spend $10 and get back $5, right? But in my case, I thought like, why it should be that way? Why can't we make a system where you pay $1 and you get $2 back, and also the other side makes money on that? And I thought, and people said like, no, the math won't work. Like somebody has to lose. I'm like, why? Like you serve the ads, you get paid. The other side just pays for the traffic. So it should have worked. I will share some more stuff. Just give me a second.
Yeah, I mean, while you're loading that, we're seeing very creative new ad networks, right? I mean, you look at what Tyler's done at Beehive, right? Where you subscribe to a newsletter, and then at the end of the first subscription, it recommends 3 other newsletters, and those other newsletters pay per new subscriber, right? As you're growing. Like, so these new like tiny ads, Beehive, there's all these new creative ad networks I think they're going to pop off.
Exactly.
All right, what are we looking at?
So this is SEO Bot, and so I have 2 channels. One is the Stripe, and one is the enterprise with invoices. So I have here, like most of the revenues here, actually, like over 100K a month. And I have already 5, 6.
Do you have the MRR graph here? If you scroll down a little bit.
Yeah. So
in Stripe,
well, I sell credits. So basically, the way it works is that people load the whole thing with credits, and they spend credits on the articles.
I see. So the reason we see the dip there is because that month that's this month, May 16th. It's only halfway done.
Yeah. So it basically reached around 100K, and that's my system basically. The way I do it is I get to 50K, then I pause, then I come back, I get to 100K, then I pause and go to other tools. And I basically don't want to go farther than 100K, because then it becomes a product that will require me to work a lot on the product, because now you have to move up on the audience. You have to move up to more serious clients, to enterprise clients. They want demo calls, and they want, spend your time. And I don't want that. So I want to have like fully as async. And then I come back once I know how I can automate that part so that I can go further. Like, for example, 2 bottlenecks now in SEO Bot for me. One is support. So it's a lot of support, because it's a lot of customers, and they have to connect their CMS, and everything just falls apart all the time with those CMS. So I want to automate the support part. So I'm building support agent that will not just answer like all the others, but it will try to fix the problem and get into the database and change things and get the whole fix done for you. And because now, like, almost 80% of our time goes for support. So we're not building anything new. We're not, I'm not marketing. We're just doing support. And once we fix that we're going to go to the next, because otherwise we just can't free our hands. And I will show you.
Well, hold on. Before we leave here, can you scroll down a little bit so we can see the y-axis on the gross volume chart, the bottom axis, the x-axis, the timestamps? It's cut off on my screen. Can you just scroll down a bit? Yeah, there we go. Okay, got it. So you get going in August. I
don't want to scroll farther because there are emails of the customers.
No, you're good. You're good. Well, click view more under gross volume. Click view more on that graph. Then it will just show that graph.
Actually,
you see the view more?
Yeah.
That way, there's no risk of us hitting sensitive customer information. Oh, but that we can't see it. It looks
exactly the opposite happened. I opened in the other tab, so it brought me to the list of customers.
Oh, don't do that.
with the emails.
Okay, enough sharing Stripe. Tell us about Mars. But is Mars holding the holding company, or?
Yeah. So I will show you Mars. Share this tab. So it's an interesting story. So it all started with me in 2020, where I want to build this ecosystem of 100 tools and run it with almost no people. So I had this vision from the start. That was my goal, because I knew that I love building stuff, and I knew that I want to do it on my own terms with no VC funding. It means I have to be efficient. So
we're looking at it here on my screen, right?
Yeah, exactly. So number one step there in my game plan was to build AI coding tool that will simplify the whole building process for me, because I have to build 100 products, and just for that you need thousands of people, right? And back then even more. So my first job was to build that. So I spent like 2-3 years building it just myself, while I had my other VC backed startup running, and I was running that too, but this was my hobby project basically in the weekends and evenings. And by 2022 I built the first version that was working, and then I started using Mars X to build all my next products using Mars X. So that's kind of
makes a lot.
So first I built the SaaS producing tool, and then I built the SaaS tools using this.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, hey, look, as we wrap up, are you game to critique my SEO for 5 minutes and give me some live feedback?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So let's do this. We're going to do it for Get Latka, right? So this is when I record podcast interviews like this, right? And then I come list the companies on my site with all the audio data that you just gave, right? So the CEOs say we do $1 million of revenue, and okay, boom, then it's $1 million of revenue. And our SEO strategy here, John, is we know that we rank really, really well, many times the number one spot for the keyword combination, so programmatic SEO of company name plus the word revenue, because our data source is the audio.
Yeah.
So it's a really good, strong data source. However, you can see here over to like Notion revenue, for example, right? 1,200 clicks, 18K impressions. You see what's happening here though, right? Which is like we used to get 4,000 organic clicks per day on those impressions. And now with AI results, we're showing up in more impressions, 190K a day, but our clicks have gone down by about 50% on average per day, right? Are you seeing this across a lot of your tools?
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, as AI made it easier to enter the game, there are so many more people playing SEO game compared to the year or two ago. So now it's much harder to win traffic. But at the same time, I think what you're doing is pretty cool. And actually, I saw your website when I was searching for the revenue of these companies, some other stuff, and you have this. Yeah, you have these reports. So like first time I landed on your site from reports, where it was like wider report about something. So I think
Yeah,
exactly.
It was probably a report. There's a lot we do thousands of reports, but like where I'm struggling is we're trying to figure out. So like, okay, this is the page for Zapier revenue, and so like what I do, John, like once a week is I'll go in and open up all the LLMs, and I'll just say something like, hey, what is Zapier's revenue? Because this is the new homepage of the internet, right? So I just ask every LLM, what's Zapier's revenue? And I want to see how many of them cite Get Latka. Now, like, I don't understand how all these work, but I imagine a lot of these are using content that they scraped when they launched the models like 8 months ago. So they're not going to have our most up-to-date data on Get Latka, right?
Well, not anymore. So now almost all LLMs use live search. So most of them use Bing search, but Bing just closing down their API now, by the way. But until they do it, if you're presented on a Bing first page, then you'll be presented in most of the LLMs too, because almost everybody who's using LLM now uses LLM with the internet search enabled. And that's why, like in the old days, you would have to be in a training set, but now you don't have to be in a training set. So now, basically, the SEO game is also LLM game at the same time.
Yes. Yeah. Well, this is what confuses me. Like, we dominate in Perplexity. You can see up our logo, we come up number 1, right? And we get a lot, like, people click in, they see my interview with Wade, right? And it's great data. We've also structured all of this in a way so that the LLMs can easily read it, right? That's how they rebuild these charts sort of inside the results here. So we get like a ton of clicks from this. But what's interesting here is if I go back into like Claude, right? And we look at the sources here, like we're not, it's like they don't even see us. We're not cited at all. We're cited number 2.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Right. But
I think
but they don't link to it here. Like no one's going to click these. No one's going to actually click that drop down. They're going to hover over these. And if we don't get quoted here, we're not going to get traffic from Claude for that keyword.
Yeah, that's true. But I think SEO is a long-term game, and I think you should bet on one thing, that all LLMs will end up searching internet before they produce any results, and they will end up searching internet in a very similar way. So basically, if you think that Google is the best search on the internet and everybody's trying to be like Google, some use Google, some are building their own engines, like that's similar to Google. I think just focusing on being on top of Google in the long term will actually solve all the other problems. Maybe in the short term,
this is interesting. Yeah, it's interesting though, right? Because look, like Zapier revenue, right? If you put this in here, okay, I got it. Okay, interesting. So tap twice revenue is now in that top spot. We're in the second spot. So like maybe that's why they recently changed. But what like I don't understand is like if you come in here, like this is clearly like an SEO written article. Like great. It's really not. But like we have,
it's the backlinks. It's the backlinks. So the anchor text that's used in the search, you have to take that text and add backlinks to your URL using that exact.
Yeah, but how do you know? But how do you know that they have more backlinks than we do?
I guess if you actually test this URL for backlinks, not the site, but exactly the URL, you will see the anchors and the backlinks.
Yeah, I don't know. Let me see here. Let me just do the main website, Tap Twice Digital. I guess where I see, look, they have such a low domain rating of 28. This is what I don't understand. We have better, for someone looking for Zapier revenue, would you rather look at a blog post like this or an actual interview where the source is the CEO's voice? Like, see, we contextually have better data, but we're getting our butts kicked by some of these other tools that just like aggregate the data, you know, and I need to figure out how to beat these guys.
It's because of the backlinks. So basically, even a website with really poor domain rating can have high rating on a specific page, and the page rating is more important than the domain rating because Google actually looks at the page rating first.
How do I look up the page rating in Ahrefs?
You
like, do I just type in that full page like this?
Yeah.
But see, like, there's not, like, this shows up almost with like.
Yeah, it's this UR. I guess that's the URL rating, but I would say that
like it's so bad compared to us.
I wouldn't trust this data because most likely that's something they've done recently and it's not shown here because there's no chance Google would bring it to the top if there were a lot of backlinks on the same search query you just put there coming from other websites.
Like, look at ours. Look at our page compared to what we just saw. Like 72 domain rating, 24 backlinks. Like, see, that's what I don't understand. But we're getting less organic traffic now.
Yeah, so your URL rating is 12, right? And I think
that's
theirs
what matters
is higher
for the LLMs.
Yeah, in this, well, that matters for Google, right? Because when Google is trying to present something, the way it thinks is that if somebody has linked to this URL from other blog using this text,
zero.
I think it's just lack of data on Ahrefs for their website, and that happens very often. Like, for example, my websites, a lot of them have almost nothing on Ahrefs, and the reality is different.
So you think it's backlinks?
That's exactly
you don't think it's how they structure this, like how they structure it in the bullet points, the H1 tags, the charts, the graphs. You don't think it's the actual structure of the HTML here?
I think it might help, but I've done what I'm telling now myself. So few times I saw somebody on top of me on Google search results, and I just picked the query and I did this backlinks to the URL with anchor tags, and eventually I took the #1 spot. So that works definitely, and that's like that's the most typical serious work you can do on SEO is to take page by page and just try to win against competitors using backlinks to that exact page. So you could try that, like do the experiment. So take this page.
Look at this,
and
though.
add.
Do you see this? Like, how funny is this? I asked why it didn't use GitLatka. This is Google Gemini, right? And it said, well, actually, we use Tap Twice Digital, which itself cited GitLatka. Right? So how, like, we are the source of the data, yet we don't get the traffic value. And it even says, I'm giving GitLatka credit.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It's kind of funny, isn't it? Look, we don't all know the answers to this. This is a quick-moving space, but, like, I guess, do you have any advice?
But you should try that. You should try that.
So
just try to get 10 backlinks. So, like, what was the search query you did? It was Zapier revenue. Yeah. So take that text and create backlinks to your URL where the text says exactly.
Can I submit it to your directory and you'll go get me a bunch of Zapier revenue backlinks?
Yeah, that's possible.
Yeah, I guess the tricky part about that is, like, we have 35,000 of these pages.
Yeah.
So do I go get backlinks for each page just one by one over and over?
Well, the best thing to do here is to have like your own websites, like the whole network of websites, and automate this part because you're doing programmatic SEO, and then you could automate that part too. But also, do you have enough inner links? Like, do you link things to each other? Like, how do you link?
Like, what do you mean?
Like, do you have links to this Zapier revenue within your own blog and website? Like, any
like
links?
if you go to SaaS database here, like, this page is going to link directly to the
but that page won't be seen by Google because it's not static, it's dynamic.
Dynamic.
Yeah. So you have to make sure
your
you actually
recommendation
link.
is create more blog posts where inside of these blog posts we link back to that company profile page.
Yeah, you should go crazy with links. So it's almost impossible to make it wrong. Like it's better to have more links than less links, as long as those are internal links. And I see your blog now, and it has almost no links. And you should try to link to everything you have internally. Sometimes you can even link words. Like if you say Zapier in any of your blog, just link to that page about the revenue, and then you'll have hundreds of those links, and that works really well.
Yeah.
So links often beat, like now, where do you link? Like scroll up, there was Zapier now.
Well, this is a different one, but you can see here, it's using the same format as this one, right? You get the sense like they all start to look the same, right? Which is just like a big summary of stuff, and they all cite me. They all cite Latka, but Latka is not getting the traffic.
Yeah, I guess they do no follow link to you, most likely. It's no follow.
Interesting. So that's your biggest recommendation is if you're trying to get and show up in the LLMs, get backlinks, focus on the UR rating here.
Yeah, because you have really good website, you have really good content, and I think you can 10x your clicks. You have really good impressions, but you're everywhere, not on the top. You're like on the first page of a lot of the queries, but not on top. It means you have good content, because the way to get to the top of the Google, like first 10, is by having good content, because Google tries to evaluate your content. But to get to the top, you have to have these precise anchor links leading to your URL, both internally and externally, from other websites and from your own website.
Yeah, very cool. Well, look, this was a ton of fun. I feel like I just got like deep into your brain there going through this. So if people want to learn more about you, they can obviously go to listingbot.com. They can go to SEO Bot. They can follow you on Twitter. Anything else you want to shout out?
Yeah, I mean, I'm one of the most open founder on X. Like, I think I share something every day, and I'm trying to share things which are useful for people so that they can apply that about growth, about building stuff, about ideating, and also how to start from zero. So, and the way I learned things in the past was by following people on Twitter and reading what they say. And a lot of people now are asking me, like, how can I start? How can I start learning, build, this startup thing? And I'm like, you have to follow the people and just get into their brains, like see how they act, see how they think, see how they reason, and then you'll start doing the same. So that's my advice.
There you have it, John Rush. He was working for a bunch of VCs before, then said, you know what, I'm going to build my own studio of startups. Over 24 today. The biggest one is SEO Bot, doing $120,000 a month in revenue. Very profitable. Only 2 people on the team. So $720,000 in revenue per employee. 30% of that growth is coming from SEO, 30% from cross promotions, 30% from social media. His second biggest tool, Listing Bot, he owns 90% of, 50K of MRR. And it's not SaaS, it's a one-time payment, but 1,000 new buyers are coming in every single month. He's built a programmatic way to keep launching great new tools with really smart SEO strategies in this new age of AI. Check him out on X. John Rush, thanks for taking us to the top.